sat beaming beside me at the scholarship award night, hands clapping with everyone else's, but hours later I saw the email she'd sent, anonymous, cruel, full of lies about me. That was the night I realized she wasn't proud, she was sabotaging me. My identity unraveled. I kept smiling for photos, but inside my world cracked. I had no idea how deep her betrayal ran. When I was 10, Mom ripped up the letter from my favorite summer program. "It's too far. You're not ready," she said. Tossing the shreds in the trash, I cried. But she offered ice cream like it was nothing. Back then, I thought she was overprotective. Now I wonder if she hated my independence. Mr. Rodriguez had nominated me. He looked heartbroken when I didn't go. I never told him the truth. In high school, I was accepted into the debate nationals. Mom said she lost the registration form. I cried in my room, hunching pillows, thinking I'd failed. But Daisy later told me she saw the envelope on our kitchen table and touched. I remember Meredith's smirk that night, saying, "Some girls just aren't meant for the spotlight." I believed her then. Miss Henderson consoled me, but I buried my dreams without knowing why. When I got into Stanford, Mom accidentally told people I was deferred. I found out at a family BBQ. My aunt hugged me, saying, "Maybe next year." My chest tightened. I confronted Mom, but she waved it off. "You'll thank me later," she said. Daisy overheard and looked furious. That night, I stared at my acceptance letter, wondering why my biggest cheerleader felt like my worst enemy. Calvin noticed the inconsistency and started asking questions. I found my college essay draft in the trash, shredded. "You must have dropped it," Mom said, not meeting my eyes. That essay took weeks. I stayed up writing, my fingers trembling. Daisy bought snacks and stayed quiet, but her eyes screamed, "This isn't normal," she said finally. Calvin checked submission records. My original essay had been replaced. Someone had altered it with typos and weak arguments. I hadn't made those edits. My trust cracked further. Meredith smiled as she handed me a mistaken college rejection email. I sat frozen until Calvin called to clarify I had been accepted. My stomach churned. Mom brushed it off. "You must read it wrong." I checked the metadata. It had been altered, forwarded from her account. Daisy printed the real email for my records. I felt like I was trapped in a web. Every thread spun by the woman who raised me. Who was she? At my graduation party, Meredith pulled Daisy aside. Later, Daisy told me, "Your mom warned me not to get your hopes up about Stanford." My fists clenched. Meredith clinked glasses like nothing happened. I noticed she spoke louder when guests praised me, always redirecting to herself. Calvin watched her, suspicious. That night, he mentioned psychological projection. I stared at my cap, wondering if any of my wins had ever been mine alone. Daisy showed me a message thread between Mom and the admissions office. Meredith had pretended to be me, requesting deferral. My heart pounded. I stormed into the living room shaking. "Why would you do that?" She shrugged, sipping tea. "You're not ready for that kind of pressure." Her calm made it worse. Calvin and Daisy sat in stunned silence. I backed out the door, realizing the woman who birthed me never wanted me to succeed. I confronted her in the garden, voice shaking. "You altered my future." Meredith didn't flinch. "I protected you." My fists clenched. "You lied, erased my work, impersonated me." Her smile cracked. "You'd have crumbled without me." Daisy stood beside me, arms crossed. Calvin hit record on his phone. The air hung thick with truth. For once, she looked cornered. I did what any mother would, but even she didn't sound convinced. That's when I stopped crying. I couldn't finish the whole story in the short. The full story is on my channel and link.